When you pool your capital with others, whether you're forming an investment group or co-owning a medical clinic or managing the expenses for a shared residential building, you immediately create a new problem. It is easy to put the money in one place. The friction starts the moment you need to spend it. Without a structured system, figuring out how to deploy that capital turns into a massive operational bottleneck. You usually end up with one of two scenarios. Either the group is paralyzed by endless, unorganized debates in a group chat, or one person gets frustrated by the delay and makes a purchase without asking anyone else. When money moves without a clear, documented agreement, it immediately erodes trust among the partners. People start wondering where their contribution actually went and why they weren't consulted. Managing shared money requires a system for collective authorization. FundVote provides this governance by formalizing how a group moves from an idea to a transaction. By forcing every proposed expense or investment to go through a visible, democratic voting process, it replaces personal disputes with a structured system of transparency. This main dashboard shows how a single user can manage several distinct pools of shared money simultaneously. You can see separate funds for a residential building, school expenses, and a commercial project, each tracking its own live balance. To initiate a decision, any member of a specific group simply opens this menu and selects the fund voting option. This brings up the proposal creation screen. The interface forces the creator to clearly define the vote's title, write out a detailed description of the request, and set the exact options, like approve or reject. This standardized format eliminates hidden agendas right at the source. This information screen outlines the wide scope of governance decisions a group can tackle. Members can propose anything from changing the monthly share contribution and approving loans for a specific member to establishing the location for the next annual meeting. Because every request must follow this exact format, the entire group is guaranteed complete visibility into the logic of the proposal before a single cent is ever moved. The moment a new proposal goes live, the system instantly notifies every member of the fund. No one can fall back on the excuse they weren't aware a decision was being made. Looking at this voting interface for a residential building, we see active polls for routine operational tasks. The residents are currently deciding whether to clean the shared water tank and schedule elevator maintenance, but the tool easily scales up to high-stakes strategic decisions. Here in the Mari Koenigsund, partners are voting on major capital expenditures, like funding a new electronic booking system and purchasing specialized medical devices. As the group considers the options, members can track the incoming votes as a live percentage. They can use built-in discussion features to debate the proposal's merits directly alongside the vote. Transparency depends on inclusion. By embedding discussion and voting into the transaction itself, the system ensures every member has a voice before capital is deployed. Even after a group agrees on a direction, there is usually one final hurdle to clear: the administrative friction of actually finalizing and executing the decision. In this commercial project fund, members are actively voting to allocate their budget toward buying new production equipment and launching a digital advertising campaign. To remove the bottleneck of finalizing these choices, the group sets a specific approval threshold in advance, like 60 or 75%. Once the incoming votes hit that exact mark, the system automatically triggers an approved state. The moment that threshold is crossed, the decision is formally adopted. The entire group never has to wait for a specific administrator to count the votes or manually pull the trigger. This automated consensus ensures that once the group has spoken, the execution is purely mechanical. It replaces a single administrator's influence with the objective weight of the group's collective math. Adopting this framework formalizes the relationship between members. With clear rules for participation and automatic execution, the common friction points of shared management are replaced by a predictable, visible routine. The value extends far beyond the active votes. The application automatically documents a permanent historical log, detailing exactly who approved what and exactly when they did it. We call this historical log institutional memory. It protects the group from future disputes, which becomes critical when new partners buy in or old members decide to leave. Compare this permanent, easily searchable ledger against the fragile records of traditional text threads, lost emails, or forgotten verbal agreements. This systematized democratic process makes collective governance a verifiable and permanent group asset.